We are about to embark on an immersive journey through the corridors of our minds. Stand by as we prepare for departure.
Welcome aboard, everyone, to the Productivity with Peace of Mind podcast adventure. Our journey will begin in just a moment. Inhale deeply and exhale. Our voyage takes us on a captivating tour, diving deep into the intricate layers of our thoughts and imagination. Brace yourselves for the complexities of our evolution. For a safe and enjoyable journey, stay seated. Secure your helmet and protective goggles, and keep hands, feet, and legs inside while the ride is moving. Now relax and enjoy.
Have you ever been to a party that just didn't seem to end? Or maybe you were hosting the party and everybody lingered and started to kind of drain your energy and nobody wanted to leave. That's what it can feel like in our mind when our thoughts are just kind of running wild, taking over, taking up space, and taking our energy. So, how do we close down that party in our mind and finally rest, finally have a break from it, and finally find that peace within our thoughts and within our mind? That's what we're going to talk about today is managing that mental clutter and why that matters. Because when our minds are so full of things that are not helpful or useful, we lose that peace of mind that we talk about on this podcast that is so important in everything that we do. We lose the clarity to think clearly about what it is we want, how we want to spend our time, and ultimately our energy gets drained because it's spent on the wrong things. For me, the party in my head that ends up taking up too much space and time is the worry party and these worry thoughts in my mind. And I know when I allow that to take over, I have to intentionally turn that down, turn the volume down, down regulate everything, which is essentially shutting down and ending that worry party in my own brain. So, how do we do that? The first step is notice. So, we have to recognize when the party is getting too loud, getting too big, getting too overwhelming, taking up too much space, time, energy, right? Like what's happening? Are our thoughts racing unnecessarily? Is there unnecessary pressure? Are we starting to feel guilt or shame that aren't necessary? Like I said, for me, sometimes it's worry. Are we playing out all these scenarios that haven't even happened or replaying conversations, picking it apart for all the things that we did wrong or could have said or should have said? So it's just noticing all of that. And you can say to yourself, I notice, fill in the blank. So, what is it that you're noticing? It may not be the examples I'm giving, but there's something that you're noticing in your mind that feels like almost like that party getting out of control in your own mind. The next part is we want to look at the guest list at this party. Who's whose name is there? Who's attending your party? One I already mentioned is worry, right? So worry might be at your party. Your inner critic, maybe a perfectionist, maybe the what ifer, maybe your inner protector, maybe the worst case scenarios. Like just notice who's on the list, who's actually at your party, and then reflect on why are they here? Did I invite them, right? Did we have like this self-pressure or our perfectionism tendencies? So did we invite them in? Did they come in with another guest? Maybe one thought spiraled into another and grew and grew and grew, and they brought all their friends with all of these other worrisome thoughts coming along in the front door. Or did they pop up unannounced? Maybe they're old stories or random fears you haven't thought about for a while, or maybe you haven't thought about it before, but here it is. So as you review that, we want to do a thought download. This is where you're just going to take everything you're assessing and get it onto paper. And what happens is when we write it down, it reduces kind of that stress and chaos that makes it feel unmanageable. Because when it's just running around rampant in your mind, you can't even see it, right? We're starting to see it, we're starting to notice and assess. But as you write it down, it makes it a lot more manageable. And it's not just running circles in your mind, but you actually can see it visibly on paper right in front of you. So you just want to get a whole list going and just don't overthink it. Don't try to get it right or pretty, or I mean, you can make it pretty if you want to. But don't, not in a way of pressuring yourself, right? That's probably already someone in your party, probably another thought you're having already. So just download it. Just let it flow from your mind to the pen to your paper until you've gotten everything out. And once you've done that, being the owner of yourself, your mind, your body, right? All of your thoughts or choices, you are the boss. You get to ask them to leave. Because once you've identified all that's there in front of you, you get to choose who stays and who goes. Maybe there was a thought of gratitude for your family. That can stay. You can absolutely choose who stays and who goes. But you can even invite them to leave with gratitude. You can say, thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. Thank you for looking out for me, for trying to protect me. But it's time to go. You can go now. You don't have a place here anymore. I don't need you anymore. That can feel so powerful. And sometimes you might need to ask a couple of times, and that's okay. As you start to free up some of the space, as you're inviting some of these thoughts and worries and ideas that really aren't serving you, and not only not serving you, but actually taking up negative space and draining what you have and where you're at, you'll start to have a little bit more clarity in your thinking. And so, what you're able to do is start to explore the purpose of why were they here? Because all of our fears and thoughts and worries and anxieties, all of that is there for a reason, actually. It's not just useless. We all experience anxiety and worries, and it's there to tell us something. So you might start to explore why were they here? Why were they at the party in my mind? Are they there to protect you, to distract you from something that you need a distraction from? Are they trying to keep you safe? That was one of the things we mentioned in the thank you and asking to leave is thank you for trying to protect me. So, what was the reason they were here? This gives compassion as well for yourself and it releases any shame. So, we make sure to clean up any shame in there in your party in your mind of, oh, well, it's my fault or I did this or it's like, okay, well, here's of course this is what happened. Of course this is what I was thinking. And then you can have much more compassion with yourself. And by the way, the more compassion we have with ourselves, the more we end up having with others. And as you shut down your party and reclaim and refine your calm, you can take advantage of this time and you can do a bit of a reset and take some time for yourself and for your mind. So that might look like meditation, journaling, doing some breathing. Maybe you do some drawing or coloring or some other form of meditative activity that is more suited for you. So finding some way to relax and bring intention into your space. You may also want to do some grounding activities using your senses. Maybe you step outside and feel the earth under your feet. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, maybe you find a piece of ice and feel that on your skin. Maybe something soft, like a soft blanket or your pet, your favorite animal. Maybe you drink some cold water. Maybe you put lotion on your hands or wash your hands and you just do it really slowly and notice every sensation on the skin of your hands. Maybe you play some soft music. Maybe you pair a couple. Maybe as you're breathing, you're having your hands on your belly and your chest, and you're feeling your body literally expand as you breathe and bring in air into your body. Or perhaps you just allow in the silence and the stillness, and you sit with that and you notice. You go back to noticing. And we talk a lot about being intentional in everything that we do. So, of course, you'll then want to set a new intention for this mental space, this room in your mind that had this party. How do you want it to feel now? Do you want it to feel at peace? Do you want it to feel playful and fun? Maybe you want it to feel calm and relaxing, or maybe open and spacious. So, for example, your affirmation could be I honor the quiet I create in my mind, or I choose my inner peace. So, the same way you would literally clear a room in your home and ask people to leave and figure out who's all there and where are they and why are they here and start clearing that room. If you're having a physical party in your home, you can take the same approach for the chaos and clutter and unnecessary thoughts going on in your mind. Because if we let the wrong thoughts stay, the unhelpful thoughts stay, they rob us of our joy, of our clear thinking, and of our rest and peace and relaxation that we so desire. So, as you walk away from this episode, you can take time to go through the whole activity, but initially you might ask yourself, what thoughts am I allowing to linger in my brain space that I'm ready to ask to leave? Who am I ready to ask to leave the party? So you might take time to do that thought download and notice how you feel afterwards. Notice how you feel after you shut down that party. Take control back of your space, the space in your mind, and bring the intentionality back into that. I cannot wait to see and hear from you how that goes. Thank you for braving the inside of your mind with me. The better we understand ourselves, the more deeply we understand the world, and as our awareness grows, life just gets better and better. If you've enjoyed this episode, please take a moment to leave a review and share this with anyone else you think could benefit from listening. A quick reminder that the content shared in this podcast is for informational purposes only. I am not a licensed therapist, and the discussions here are not a substitute for professional advice. If you're dealing with a specific issue or need personalized guidance, please consult with a qualified professional. Your well-being is important, and this podcast is simply a platform for sharing insights and experiences. I appreciate you spending this time with me. Until next time.